that as I reflect on supervision and issues that in my 18 years, there's a lot that I have. And I was assistant AD prior to that, running events and head coach. And there's just a lot of incidents that I ran into, a lot of circumstances. So just a couple notes that not textbook, but things that I'm just as I reflect on some things that I did that were effective um, in managing crowds and possible situations. So number one, um, and I think some people in class already noted this, but when you're on supervision, you're on supervision. And I had to talk to people several times that you're not here to watch the game. Now, like at a football game, the athletic director is responsible for, this is how we ran it, responsible for the field, the game, the officials. So there's always stuff that's going on the sidelines, that I need to be, the athletic director needs to be engaged with. But the other people that are on supervision, their eyes need to be on the crowd. um, that they can intuitively tell as things might be getting ready to happen, or a person that might need to be talked to. Um, a smaller event like a underclass basketball game that I might be at. I have to do both. I have to manage what's happening on the floor, but I also have to keep my eyes on in the spectators as well. So I can't really engage in the game itself. I can't become a spectator, and I think you guys all understand that. So another thing that I learned early on, I used to say to myself, "Man, I just wish tonight would go great. That there won't be any issues." And then I'd always come home frustrated because there were always issues. So I had to just retrain my brain, and when I went in with that expectation, when issues occurred, I usually entered them. I had a habit of entering them with frustration. So I had to re-engage my brain a little bit and re-educate how I do things, re-educate myself. So I began just a little statement that I had in my mind that I'm going to this event expecting that there will be issues. Okay, when there are issues, how do I want to approach them? What kind of leader do I want to be as I approach these issues? So then I'm setting my mind up with an expectation of that things are going to occur. So when they do, I'm not surprised. I don't respond with I don't react with frustration. I've kind of pre-thought already. This is the leader I want to be in these moments of when they're certainly going to happen, because people are getting around in a very emotional environment. Um, so when I do see something, speaking, this is how I handled some things in the past. I would maybe witness a parent at a soccer game, maybe from a different community, that is getting really irate about calls, and they're being rude. They're being, they're not doing anything where need to be kicked out yet. But if that starts happening, a practice of mine, what I would do is I would go to them before any really bad things are said or cross the line things are said, but I see them starting to get amped up and that we could end up there. I would go to them, call them down out of the crowd, which is very uncomfortable already, and everybody's going to see it. And I would just shake their hand, reach out, shake their hand, and just say, "Hey, my name's Todd Muller. I'm the athletic director here, sir. What's your name? I noticed that. I noticed that you're really into tonight's game. I love that. I love positive cheering. I just want to remind you that my expectation here tonight is that we cheer in a positive way. We're cheering on our team, and the officials, they're people, and and they're going to make some bad calls. So anyways, you get the idea. I come into a setting where there's not conflict right off the bat, but maybe I'm putting my stamp, or they know I'm there. I've introduced myself. I know the person's name now. So if there are issues, I can address them with that interaction already in my back pocket, and that has helped. That's a worthy note to put in this. And then one other thing that I think gets lost sometimes is that the head coach of a program has tremendous impact on the people that they lead, and I include parents and the spectators. So two things along those lines. Um, head coaches can verbally lay out their expectations of, hey, this is who we want to be when we travel as a fan base. This is who we want to be in our own house. We want to encourage and set some standards, set some things that of how they want to be represented as a parent group or as a group. And then um, the other thing that the coach can do is be mindful that their sideline behavior makes a difference in what is acceptable from the team and also from the crowd. So if they're out of control, that gives the kids permission to be out of control. So I've always coached my coaches. If I witness that something like that in a game, I'll call them in the next day and I'll just ask them, hey, let's talk about that. What happened? Why is it that you obviously you lost your emotions? Let's talk about that, and then get to the underlying reason of why that happened. But culturally, at our high school, that's not how we want to represent ourselves as coaches, because it does make a difference, and we are setting a model for those. And then lastly, last thing out, student sections can get out of control at times. So one of the things that a practice that I routinely do, and by the end of my tenure, the kids will see me coming and they kind of straighten up. But one of the things I do, the student leaders are always in front, right? So they're the ones that they're either going to start a good chant or they're going to start a bad chant. So I'll come over to them, and again, kind of preemptively, I'll call those student leaders down. I'll say, hey, who's in charge tonight? Who's in charge of this crowd tonight? Well, Mr. Muller, we're going to get them riled up. I said, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love the energy. I love it. But here's one thing that's going to happen. If I hear a chant that's, bad sportsmanship, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. I'm not going to address the entire student section. I'm going to come and talk to you because you're leading this group. So my expectation of you as the leader is to have great sportsmanship. I'll let you know when you cross the line, but there's probably a good chance when what's crossing the line. So I'm gonna put that leadership on you. Are you guys good with that? Are you ladies good with that? Can you? And then I have them look me in the eye and yes sir. Yeah, we're good with that. Well, yeah, we can handle that. So anyways, just some plugs of things that have worked for me over my years, and then heading into week 3. This is a good setup for parents. And I think a week-long discussion or thought into parents and how you're going to lead them and lead coaches through parents a week is worthy, because it does take a lot of your time, and the culture that you want to build as an athletic director, that element, certainly how we interact with them, how we lead them, how we communicate, it matters, and we can do it effectively and in a very professional way. So I wish you luck this week. Again, keep up the high level of participation. I love it. And again, if you have questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Have a great week.